ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Unknowingly, we all know there is echo. Reduce the brass. Unknowingly, we all know that we have to go back to our own source. That is why when we go to the temple, we climb miles together like in Kedarnath, and after we go in front of the shrine, we put our palms together, close our eyes and go ahead. See? The other day when I was in Tirundamalai, we went to one temple and second temple. That time there was no light. So through the darkness we were struggling. And when the Lord came, Annapurna goddess came, there was this bit of lamp and he was giving some vibhuti or kumkum. So I was looking at him and took him and going ahead. He said, "You have not seen at the goddess. You see there, that is the goddess, not me." I said, "Okay, okay." See? Unknowingly we all know. Everything is within. Nothing is without. But we do not follow that in our life. And therefore, we have to consciously practice. And that conscious practice of focusing our attention within, although we are functioning without, is called as spiritual lifestyle. Antarlaksha Bahir-drishti Nimeshonmecha Varjita. Our attention is inside and we are functioning outside. This lifestyle, to strengthen, we are told to practice meditation. So today we will try to learn what is the exact meaning of meditation and how the meditation can be a 24 hours experience. So we live outside, but we grow inside. When this balance is perfected, we have learned the secret of Yoga Shastra or the secret of Yoga Abhyas. Now, for that we have to take little data into account, keeping in view our own experiences. Whatever we are talking here is not out of the blue, but our own experiences we have to analyze. See, I am reading these days Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi's book something, and in that one peculiar thing I noticed. He was observing Maun for many years. He was sitting in one place. He was oblivious of all the disturbances outside. Now the onlookers call it that he was practicing spiritual life. But it was the other way around. He was so much withdrawn that he found no need to talk. He was so much withdrawn completely that what is happening to the body or outside in the world has no meaning for him. See? So when I was reading that, what went through my mind is it not the same experience we also all go through when we are in deep sleep? See? When we are in deep sleep, what exactly happens? When we are in deep sleep, our mind is completely withdrawn from the shape and the form of the body. Be very attentive. These are two important things to be known when we learn something about meditation. Mind functions in the body, thereby the body is enlivened. And the functioning of the mind in the body is at two levels. First, the mind maintains the physiological system functional, and the mind is also responsible for continuance of life in the body. This is one aspect of the mind which is a common denominator for every living being, not only human being. One. Now the second thing. The same mind takes the shape and the form of the body because that mind is expressing through the body. It is something like, now this tube is straight, tubular, so the light expressed in this tube light looks like a rod. Now this another bulb which is round, there the light looks to be round. In fact, the light does not have any shape. See? But according to the instrument where it is manifested, the shape is appearing. In the same manner, mind does not have any shape. That is why the mind can take any shape. See? So, this mind, which is expressing through one particular body, is now functioning at two levels. Level number one, maintenance of the physiology and life in the body. And step number two, that mind takes the shape of this particular body. When the mind has taken the shape of the particular body, it is this aspect of the mind which starts creating differences. See? Now you can see one palm. Now this one palm becomes 5 fingers. Now how this one palm has become 5 fingers? Because this finger has one particular shape. Thereafter there is absence of the finger. Then there is a second finger, it has a particular shape. And again there is absence. In this manner, what makes the differences is the shape and the form. Therefore, mind cannot think without shape and without form. Now, third step. When the mind has taken a shape of a particular body, that mind will continue thinking in relation to that body. See? The other day I was in England, and one lady came for the classes, and she is pretty old. She must be about 60, 62. So, must have been divorced for half a dozen times. So, she asked me, Swamiji, I am practicing yoga. That is all okay. But one advice I want from you. What is that? I feel very lonely, So if I get married at the age of 65, if I get married, will my yoga be lost? Now what reply will you give? I said, Amma, look here, you should not get only married once, it doesn't matter. Yoga is that which will not leave you. Now it is stuck to you. Because what is the yoga you have understood? Only acrobatics. See? Therefore, when the mind has taken the shape of a particular body, it will all the time think about the same body. Therefore, I am lonely. I want to do this thing. I want to do that thing. No, all this thinking with reference to the body, and thereby with reference to the gross world comes to a halt the moment the mind drops the body shape and the form as in deep sleep. Now this you don't have to believe, this is our experience. In the deep sleep experience, the first aspect of the mind, maintaining life and physiology in the body, is active, and therefore there is blood circulation going on, the digestion going on, the hair grow, everything happens. But the shape of the body is no more held by the mind, and therefore now the mind is merged in the infinite, the one mind. Be very attentive. We can think only about the finite. Infinite cannot be comprehended by any instrument. Like our eyes can see colors and forms. But when our eyes try to see the space which is infinite, without color and without form, an illusion appears. And that optical illusion is called as the blue color of the sky. In the same manner, this mind which is holding on to one body can never comprehend the absolute conscious blissful existence that is the reality. And therefore, this mind will start thinking about God according to the tradition in which one is brought up. Therefore, one of the most important spiritual practice is to first recognize that as long as we are holding on to the body identification, the thought process will not come to a halt. We'll keep on thinking. Now, how do we think with reference to the gross body? Is with reference to the gross world and the gross people. I just received a SMS. Swamiji, people are there to love and things are there to use. But the people are used and the things are loved. What is this? This was the SMS I received. So I wrote back. What are you hinting at? See? Our mind will always think with respect to our body and the gross world. And now what do we do in meditation? We sit down. Quiet. Now there should not be any thoughts. And the thoughts will come. We become frustrated. We bite. We hold ourselves tight. And finally we go to the Mahatmas. Maharajji, I don't know. Too many thoughts come in my mind. What I should do? You should know what you should do. It is your mind, not my mind. No, not like that, Please. See? Then I asked him a question. Thoughts will come in the mind or in the nose. Do you ever complain that when the eyes are open, I see the colors and forms of it, what I should do? Close the eyes, like a cat. The cat's wisdom, when she is drinking milk, she closes the eyes so that nobody can see her. I was in some other country, and there is one cinema theater you all must have seen, known. Whatever is happening on the screen, according to that your chair also moves. It is all synchronized, So when we went, there was somebody with me, and the vehicle is going and there is a very rough road. So when the vehicle does cut like that, then this also starts moving, and you feel as if you are going to that. Hey, light wala, sit down. In the darkness you can't hear or what? Because these insects are coming, therefore we are giving the opportunity to sleep. After some time the insects will go, and by then the lecture will be over. So, when we were sitting there, and it was a terrible experience, and this fellow was holding my palm so hard. Swamiji, Swamiji, I said, hey, don't worry, I want to go out. I said, you don't have to go out, but I am getting nervous. I said, simply close your eyes and sit down. How simple it is. In the same manner, when eyes are open, you will see color and form. So if you want to get freedom from that, what you have to do? Close your eyes. In the same manner, we all do the same thing. When we are tired of this gross world, when we are tired of our body identification, our mind gets disgusted, and while listening to the satsang also it goes to sleep. See? Why? Because the mind is tired now. Therefore, what we have to learn, that as long as we are holding on to the body identification, thought process will not stop. So don't struggle. Then what is to be done? Then how to do meditation? So first of all, understand this principle. Then the second step. See, control of the mind is equal to keeping the mind occupied. This is the equation. Don't try to control the mind. Keep the mind occupied. How simple it is. It is something like, the children during summer vacation. They are at home, parents don't allow them to go out, it is very hot, and then they have all energy and small houses, and they will do one thing or the other, create problems. So what the intelligent parents will do? They will keep them busy. There was one father, he saw the child was traveling too much, and he said, see, I have cut this newspaper into pieces. If you fix it correctly, I will give you this. He mixed the whole thing and gave. Now what the child is doing? He is busy. See? In the same manner, keep our mind busy and occupied, not complaining. All those who complain about the world, they are good for nothing. There is no solution through complaint. See? That is why everywhere there are suggestion and complaint box. Do you think anybody opens them? They are just one of the decorations on the airport. The one who puts that, he also knows. Nobody opens that. And the one who opens, he also knows we don't have to read it, remove it and throw it in the garbage. What is there? Because we are anyway not going to do anything. In the same manner, let us not complain about the outer world, but be aware that how the whole thing is working. We are capable of inquiring about how many, sandals that actress has. We are capable of knowing how many saris the other actress has. How many gossips are going on, with whom, what, that we know. But how the mind is functioning, when the mind is functioning in the outer world, what are the calamities that are happening in the inner world? About this we are totally ignorant and indifferent. See friends, therefore, whenever we are tired, frustrated, depressed, dejected, immediately understand mind is overpowering us. That very moment, keep the mind busy. Now for keeping the mind busy on a creative scale, there is one thing, please try, it will help you. We have to have our whole life lived as Anushthan. Anushthan means what? You live life with commitment. About this I tell you one small story. There is a friend of mine, a Gujarati one, and a very nice person. And he is having his pharmaceutical factories, company, very big affair. And it's down to earth, very pure and very simple. Gujaratis are very simple people. They are sweet also. Even in the sugar they add good and take. They are so sweet. So he is like that. One day he asked me, Swamiji, you tell me something. What spiritual practice I should do? I said, look here. You do this Ramcharitmanas Parayan 108. So I said, keep him busy. And then he started. He made a small group and they will go to a different place. He has visited almost all the Tirtha Kshetras, the 12 Jyotirlingas, Rameshwaram, everywhere. He will go with the whole group, about 5-7 people, and 7 days Pakka program. They will have their kitchen, they will have their utensils and their altar, and they sit every day, 7 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, they nicely sit down and chant. Now, slowly, when he has taken this, he has about a dozen factories all over India, yet he has all the time for everything. No complaint, I don't have time. Now what is the secret? Secret is, he is very well organized. Therefore, whenever we lead our life on Anushthan basis, we become organized in life. Organized in the spiritual field is called as taking some rules and regulations imposed on oneself by one's free will. Then mind will have no time to bother us because it is kept busy. So there are many techniques of keeping the mind busy in the outer world so that the mind does not create a turmoil in the inside. So one of the techniques is this. We have to have in our daily life, right from morning to evening, certain strict rules to be followed without any compromise. And a few of them will be, start your day early in the morning. Oh Swamiji, Prathama Grase Makshika Pataha. Can't you do something different? Getting up early in the morning is the most difficult thing. I get up that way. I am not late like others. I get up at 10 o'clock. Others get up at 11 o'clock. See, remember those who wake up after the sunrise, in their next life they will be bed bugs. Because bed bugs don't leave the bed. So suppose you are of that type and your children ask, Mummy, Dadi, in the next life what you will be there? I will be bed bug. Pakka address. Therefore, start your day early. Second thing, do some exercise or something so that the laziness goes out. You know, most terrible enemy which we all have is this laziness. See? There was one engineer in Thane near Bombay. He was coming one or twice for my lecture, somehow he came. When you look at him, so disgusting look that you don't feel like even talking to him. Unkempt beard, clothes are not proper, face is not properly washed, the hair are not kept properly. somehow, as if he is a great Avadhuta. And he came. And after 2-3 days lecture, one day he said, Swamiji, I have got a question. I said, I will not talk to you. He said, why, Swamiji? I said, tomorrow if you are coming, come with taking bath, proper clothes, properly ironed, clean and neat, and properly shaved. Then I will talk to you. So next day, he did that. Nice bath, clean clothes and all. Swamiji, as you told, but the mood is the same, frustration. Now that you can't wash with the water. Then he says, Swamiji, I want to tell you my story. I said, I don't want to listen. Tell the problem quickly. Story means what will start. Who wants to listen the garbage of others? So, he said, I am married for last 18 years. I said, this is not an achievement. And my wife is working, and by God's grace we have got 6 children. And this is called a Nishkam Karma Yoga. Then I did not work even one day. My wife works. She earns also, she looks after the house also, and I just don't do anything. I simply lie down. I said, you must be realized one. Dhanyavad. I did namaskar to you. He said, no, Swamiji, I am disgusted of my life. Please help me what I should do. I said, will you do? He said, yes. I said, no discussion. No discussion. From Thane, you start walking, go up to church gate on foot. It is 35-40 kilometers on foot. And come back and do this for 1 month. And they talk to me. I thought he will not come again. But he did it. And after he did it, then he himself came and told Swamiji, what a difference. What actually has happened to me? I said, you were suffering from only one disease called as laziness. This is how the mind binds us to the body. Therefore, when we have a self-discipline, we get up early in the morning, finish your bath, etc., study. That is the time you have to study scriptures. Normally, when we are told we should study scripture, when we study, when the whole day is lived, we are tired in the evening, exhausted, then we take the book, Gita in the hand, legs are on the table, left hand Gita, right hand cup of tea, in front TV, and agal bagal mein useless skills. What did Krishna say? Means what? We have this notion that when we are unfit for everything, we are fit for studies of scriptures. This is what many people have this notion. In Allahabad, I remember, I went to one house, Agrawal's house, and very big family, and they had one son, a huge 6+, 4+. And we were taking food. I said, hey, come on, you join. You take. It's all right, I will take. Then his mother told, Swamiji, I am fed up of this fellow. He is 28 years. He does nothing. He is good for nothing. I am so fed up. Why don't you take him with you to the ashram? Means what? I said, Amma, I was also said like this by my mother. Then he is good for nothing. So when we are good for nothing, we are good for spirituality. No. Please understand, those who are the dropouts in life, they are not fit for spiritual evolution. See? So when we have the discipline, you will be committed to that discipline, then you will have no excuse. See? This is very important. I observed this in myself. That when, I had written 2 big commentaries. One is on Panchadashi, about 2000 pages. That commentary I had written when I was teaching 6 lectures a day, plus meeting people, plus attending phones, plus answering the emails. In addition to that, these pages were written. And then I took the second book for writing. Then I thought, hey, it is too much. I will take a break total 3 months and write down the book. 3 months I did not write one line. Not one line. Then I came to a conclusion. Busy mind is a creative mind. A lazy mind is useless mind. See? Therefore many people advise us, Swamiji, you run too much, you should take rest, The moment they rest is what? Yadgatvana nivartan. The laziness will again come up. Therefore, living in the outer world, active, dynamic, is in our interest. Please understand this. Like the other day I told you, when I come here and give talk to you, I am 100% sure none of you need my lecture. I have no doubt about it. Because when I am not giving lecture, you continue to live happily. Isn't it? Now when you come, oh God, come just come, at least I had to go, I organize, how can I say no? Anyway, another, how many days? 4 days remaining, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, another 2 days remaining. God. See, I know very clearly, you don't need. Then why do I come? Because I need. See the difference. Whenever we live in this world dynamically with this attitude that the world doesn't need us, please understand this basic point in life. When we were not in this world, there was nothing lacking. See? When we will leave this world, there will be nothing lacking. So our presence is absolutely insignificant. But we start thinking, without me the world doesn't move. Like the bullock cart was going, and in the summer days with a lot of load, and below the bullock cart in the shed, one dog was also walking. And after 8 hours of the travel, the bullocks were taken out and the cart was kept and the dog was panting. Hey, what happened to you? What happened to you? Try to carry the cart for 8 hours. What he has done? Nothing. In the same manner, we get tired in life because we are not active. Physical tiredness is better than mental tiredness. Mental tiredness leads to depression. अब जी के क्या करेंगे? No. Therefore, live in the outer world with a discipline, commitment, creatively, because we need it. The world doesn't need us. See how important it is. And once this change comes in us, you will see sadhana will start happening. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to go to a Mahatma. Mahatma ji, please tell me what I should do. So then you say, okay, take this mantra. Then what is it? Do the japa. And look here, my dear, you are very special to me. Therefore, I will give you a special mantra, not common mantra. What is that special mantra? Maha mantra. Kali Santaranopanishad. What is that mantra? Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Now, you have to chant this mantra 36 malas per day. This fellow is booked for life. He will never go to that Mahatma again. I don't know, next time we may give another big mantra, chant for 100 times, gone. See? Instead of struggling and going and asking anybody outside, discover within yourself. See, now next step. You will find, if you become little aware, that we all have thoughts only when we have become somebody. Don't complain. The moment the thoughts come in mind, find out who I have become. See, I have become a husband, I have become a wife, I have become a brother, sister. The moment you become somebody, that becoming is like the mouth of a volcano, wherefrom innumerable thoughts will start gurgling. Therefore, we have to be very careful that whenever we are all by ourselves, to cancel all becomings, become the devotee of the Lord, or become a meditator. One of the two. When you will become the devotee of the Lord, then you will start singing His bhajan, singing His stories, chanting His name, reading His katha. The idea is what? Mind is occupied. See? This is very important. If you are tired of reading, etc., then sit quiet and then start your meditation practice. What is the meditation practice? Again, keep the mind occupied. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, Vikshana Pranayama. What is Vikshana Pranayama? Keep being aware of your own breathing. Don't do any special pranayama. Simply sit down and become aware of breathing. The air goes in, goes out. Goes in, goes out. The idea is mind is kept busy. Thus, we live without, but our attention is within. In this manner, when we practice our life outside as a scheme of life by which our inner is kept undisturbed. This is the principle Bhagavan Sri Krishna tells in the whole Bhagavad Gita. Outside was the situation of war. And what Bhagavan Sri Krishna told Arjuna? Keep yourself cool. What was the argument given by Arjuna? When you have to go and kill your own grandfather and own guru, then you will understand how miserable it is. Katham Vishmamaham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishumi Pratiyochyami Pujarha Varisudana. Oh Lord, do you know you are glorified by two titles awarded to you? Mr. Madhusudana, Mr. Arisudana. Like somebody is given a title, Padma Shri, Padma Bhushana. Why these titles were given? Because you have killed the demon called as Madhu and you have killed the Ari means the enemy. So that is a glory to you. In this war I will kill my guru and my grandfather. Then I will be glorified as Guru Sudana Arjun Singh. Now what was his argument? Argument was the outer situation is such that I am getting disturbed inside, and be very attentive. And such people, they justify themselves getting disturbed. Because the value of undisturbed mind is not yet recognized. The most valuable thing in the whole world is undisturbed mind. Friends, I tell you, like every seeker, I had the same notion. I will have the vision of God. Krishna, 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 come, come, I am waiting for you, can. Like that. And I happened to be with Swami Akhandananda once in the Calcutta. That was the turning point in my whole life. Complete change. And what happened that day was this. There was, a Marwadi crowd. Marwadi crowd is most indisciplined crowd. Anybody will come anywhere, put anything here, and then the mala, and then they will do pradakshina, and Maharajji, and then no, awareness is not there. So like that the whole crowd was there. And Maharajji was sitting. And one person was reading a question paper. And all they were making kako sound. And that time I was young, 30 years before, and I saw that, look, this, person is reading the thing, Swamiji has to listen, then reply, but others are not understanding. I got so annoyed within myself, but I could do nothing. How can I talk before Swamiji? So I kept quiet. After the whole question paper was read, Swamiji restated all the questions in such a manner that the reply was included in the restatement of the question. It was the height I can imagine. Nothing in this world could disturb him. See? From that day onward, that became the goal of my life. Whether I see God or not, who cares? What is important is our mind must not be disturbed by anything or anybody in the world. That is the goal. Because disturbed mind is a wrong instrument for perception and working in this world. If you want to use a knife, that knife must be sharp and properly maintained. But if our understanding about the sharpness is like this, then who can help us? Like what? There was a husband. He was shaving, stood before the mirror, applied the whitewash and started shaving. And the blade flowed through his skin and there was a scratch. Oh God! These blade makers make money, but useless blades. When this was said, wife is always there to improve upon the husband. She said, why you start complaining and cursing early morning everybody? What happened to the blade? He said, look here, I got cutting. He said, what is this funny thing? It is the same blade which I have used for paring the pencil of your son and fix it back. When that blade can do the paring of a pencil, can't it save you? Now who can talk to that Mahamaya? Both of them are sharp. But the sharpness required for paring of a pencil and the sharpness required for shaving is of different quality, is it not? In the same manner, the sharpness required for living in the worldly matters is of a different quality. And the sharpness required for working on the inner inquiry is of different quality. See? Today, Sangarajan was telling me, Swamiji, our company's website we have pasted something, Tamil, I don't know what it is, but the meaning is, if you earn your bread sincerely, it will give you peace inside your house, your children will be good. And if you earn corrupt money, it will lead to destruction. Now this, if you show to a government servant, he will never come to you. Isn't it? Now what is to be done? I said, you change it and put. Corruption is the right way of progress under Indian conditions. So anybody who comes, oh, this one is accepted. Then you do bargains. I tell you, I have a friend, I will not tell you where. He is very nice, young man, must be about 30, 32 or 35. And he has gone through terrible times, started his own business and doing very well. And whenever you do something good, these, freelancers, they come and ask for money, particularly police and all kinds of people. He says, Swamiji, one day, this IT means income tax. This income tax fellow came, the police came like that, And when it started, my friend told, friend, don't give this fellow. Once you give them, they will eat you. He said, okay, I'll tell you later. Okay, let my customers go. They were waiting there like vultures. Afterwards, he said to them, look here, we have to survive. Okay, let us strike a bargain. You be my friend, I will be your friend. How much you expect for me? I expect at least per year 10,000 rupees. Okay, I cannot do that. Let us, try to adjust. Let us fix it for 2,000. No, बहुत कम हो जाता है. In corruption, there is a rate. Finally, okay, let us make it 5,000. And then he straight away, when he comes, have a cup of tea, hello, straight away give 5,000 and live peacefully and happily. This is what is most important in life, if you want to maintain your peace within. Otherwise, your whole life you will go on fighting, lead nowhere. It is a folly to be wise among fools. Please understand. There is a slok in Sanskrit I read somewhere. It is said in that slok, if the people of a country accept corruption as a way of life, it is bad. If the government of a country accepts corruption as a way of life, it is worse. If the judiciary of a country accepts corruption as the only alternative to deliver justice, it is worse. We have already crossed even that. Is it not? Therefore, friends, in this outer world, let us not waste our time. This has always been like that. Let us not waste one moment of our life. If we really mean spiritual practice. If you want to be a social worker, then that is the field. Parasparam bhavayantaha shreya paramavapsata. No. If we really mean spiritual practice, we have to keep ourselves cool. That is more valuable than anything in this world. And this can be done by this understanding. And in this manner, we interact in the outer world in such a manner that the inner peace is undisturbed. If this is not taken care of when you are young, then what happens? One day one person came to me, one Sindhi gentleman in Calcutta. Swamiji, these days, I have developed some kind of fear. What kind of fear? I am feeling, if I die, what will happen to my wife, my children, my business? And that fear is making me very miserable. I said, Papa, do you know, they are waiting for you. When I is not there, there cannot be my wife. When I is not there cannot be my business. See, the problem is from this I. And this I is never investigated. So to investigate who is this I, we require a quality, sharp intellect. Like for cutting a tree, you require a different quality of sharpness. And for cutting the retina, you require a different kind of sharpness. In the same manner, the intellect, the logic which is used in the outer world is of different quality. Therefore, when we are functioning in the outer world, attention should be all the time what is happening inside. We have to become aware of this again and again. Therefore, whenever we go to the temple, etc., what we do? We have taken for granted that our mind is the best mind. But have we ever tried to work on the purification of the mind? Have we ever tried to work on the cleansing of the mind? Because there are thoughts in the mind, we are not thinkers. See? Because there are plants and trees, it is not a garden, it is a jungle. What is the difference between a jungle and a garden? Garden is that where every plant is selected, culled, taken care of, protected, nurtured and looked after. That's not. In the same manner, every kind of thought is just erupting like the wild grass in the jungle. No. And for that, what is required is, we have to now put down our foot. Whatever we are interacting in the world, start becoming aware inside. There is one young boy, 34 like, SNC boy, a great friend of mine. I really love that boy, adore. He has gone through such terrible times. His father is highly spiritual, mother is depressed and all the time on medication. And he has to look after everybody. And yet he is absolutely quiet and balanced. And he tells me, Swamiji, he has heard the whole of Bhagavad, Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita very sincerely, intensely. And he now is known to me for many years, 10 years almost. So he tells me, Swamiji, I have seen, I have observed that my, mind works in such a funny manner that I am able to find out the faults of everybody. But I am not able to find out my faults. Now tell me, a person who becomes aware of this, that we are able to find out the faults of others, but we don't find out our own faults. What a great evolution that person must have reached. See? Normally what happens, we are able to find out the small faults of others magnified in a big way. And the huge blemish we just forget. Remaining more and more aware is called as working on the mind while interacting in the outer world. So when we work in this outer world, we have to be extremely aware. And we become aware. For example, it is not possible for the human mind to love and like everything and everybody. There are some allergic spots in life, like food. Some food you just don't like. Okay, don't like, forget about it. Similarly, some people you can't tolerate their presence. Okay, they are like that, go away. Let us not fight on that. But when we become aware of this fact, this fellow, whenever he comes in front of me, I get agitated, disturbed, angry. Now that fellow doesn't know anything, that I am getting angry, agitated because of him. So what he does, he comes, Swamiji, how are you? And insult me, why you are doing it? Who is suffering? That person or me? When we thus become aware, friends, that is what I have been again and again emphasizing. Don't concentrate. Concentration is always on others. You are listening to me in concentration. Awareness is about ourselves. I will give one small experiment. Try. I don't know whether we did it here. I'll chant mantra, you concentrate and listen every word completely. We'll do it 2-3 times, and thereafter, the next experiment I'll tell you what is to be done. So now first learn what is the meaning of concentration, then we will learn what is the meaning of awareness. And then we have to practice living in awareness. It can't be told, this is awareness, this is like that. So just experience yourself. Now when I am chanting the mantra, you be fully attentive, and other than this, nothing else is important for you for next 10-20 seconds. If you can't even give full attention 10-20 seconds, then go to sleep. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamritat. So I chanted 3 times, and suppose you have fully heard every word that was chanted. That was called as concentration. In concentration, you will get tired after some time, depending upon your own ability. Therefore, sometime when we take to read something, we can read with concentration for 20 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes. After that, very good, very good. It happened recently somewhere. I was so tired, exhausted, and came and sitting like this. Hey, Mama, give me a cup of tea. And there was one lady. She is a writer in newspaper. So she writes articles, and articles are published. He said, Swamiji, this is the article which has come today only. Please read. And I was so tired and exhausted. I said, hey, very good. Swamiji, how do you say without reading? I said, to be very frank with you, I am so tired, I can't even read. Swamiji, it is only 1 page. See? I said, 1 line I am not able to read. What to read 1 page? Whenever you concentrate, you get tired according to your own stamina. Now, if we don't live life with concentration, we will never be tired in life. Concentration is always about someone else. So we live in the outer world normally with concentration. Therefore we get tired. Now let us learn what is the meaning of awareness. Now I will be chanting the mantras, but you be indifferent to it. Simply be indifferent. Mantra chanted, not chanted, there is a gap, there is no gap, it doesn't make any difference to you. Complete indifference to whatever I am chanting. Now in this awareness, you don't have to even close your eyes. In concentration you are closing. Om Trambakam Yajamahe. Now in awareness, you remain comfortably seated and don't bother what I am chanting, how I am chanting. Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. 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 Now if you are in awareness, how I chanted, what I chanted makes no difference to you. Because you were not concentrating on something else, but you are simply aware something is happening. Be very attentive. When you are simply aware that something is happening, thereafter something also is dropped, only awareness remains. See? Now, the third experiment. Sound you are hearing by the ears. Silence you cannot hear by the ears. And yet you hear the silence. So the silence is experienced in awareness. So now play. When I say the words, you concentrate. When there is a gap, you cannot concentrate on the silence, but you become aware of the silence. Because silence is not heard by the ear. Now play this game. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 So when we hear the sound, awareness plus the mind behind the ear is required. But when we hear the silence, ear and the mind is not required. It is only in the awareness alone that the absence of objectivity is perceived. That is the reason why one of the technique of meditation is expose yourself to absence. Sit in a room, absolute darkness, and keep your eyes open and see. When your eyes are open, seeing is happening, but there is nothing to see, so the seeing will not happen. Then what happens is pure awareness. When we start living in awareness, we are with our own self. When we concentrate, we go away from ourselves. Normally, when we are living in the outer world, we are concentrating. Therefore, we get tired. On the contrary, we play the game of life in the outer world, remaining in awareness. What is the result? Result will be, we will never be tired in life. Physical tiredness will come and go, but the spirit with which we live will never be dampened. Thus, the only way to lead a meaningful life, keeping the balance perfect within and without, is possible for everyone, provided we become aware of this phenomena. Otherwise, our life becomes mechanical. And whenever the life has become mechanical, the charm of life disappears. then we carry the load and burden of life. Those who carry the load and burden of life, they are frustrated, depressed, dejected, bitter. They have got mental acidity. Those who have got mental acidity, they cannot tolerate the progress of others. Those who have got mental acidity, they cannot celebrate the happiness of others because that mental acidity. Therefore, friends, let us strike a perfect balance within and without and start living in awareness. This is what Yoga Shastra talks about. See? Now see what yoga is and what yoga is understood. When we just start living more and more in awareness, we are on the right track. Tomorrow we will see yet another dimension of this within and without. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.